Hey guys, Amy Starr Allen here, and I just put together this video, and I was gonna just use it for my team to help my team, which it's still gonna be used for our team, and we're gonna put it on our team site. But I wanted to put it out to the public as well, because I know that a lot of people ask me what the products are inside of the Empower Network and why they're valuable, or what's inside of them, or why they should own them. And so I was on a webinar with David Wood a couple nights ago, and he did a great job of explaining what the products are in a general way, not super specific, but in a way that will help you understand the value of each product. So I want to go ahead and share that video with you so that you're really clear on why you need to own each of these products. And so I'm going to do that now. So here you go.
What you really need, though, is you need commitment to your future. You need to make a decision to educate yourself to get the skills that you need to really make the money that you want in your business, right? Sometimes we throw these numbers around, and I don't want anybody to make any mistakes. Obviously, not everybody, goes from, like Justin, almost broke to making $150,000 a month. That's an extraordinary example. We've got all sorts of examples in between there, and we've got examples that are actually big. You can see the earnings disclosure on every page of the site here, right? Because we report averages. What I'm painting out is I'm painting out a picture of what's possible when you learn the skills that you need to learn in your business. So what we did in Empower Network, and this is essentially how we've created our entire company, is we asked ourselves, what do people who want different things in life need to have in order to build that business they want? What skills do they need? What resources do they need? What tools do they need? What training do they need? Hold on a second, I'm going to grab some coffee here. What do they need, and what do they not need? And we built our whole product message around that. There are people here who want to get a big result. There are people here who don't want a big result. There are people here who want an average result. There are people here who want to kind of be where they are, but be a little more free. And there are people here who want to make, four-figure income every month. Multiple four-figure income is big for a lot of people. And there's people here who want to create six-figure income. There's people here who want to create multiple six-figure incomes. There's people here who want to create seven-figure incomes. And we've got customers and affiliates who want to do that. So what we've done is we've created, we have an infrastructure of training that's designed to help you get the results that you want in your business, in your life. And we do that through the products that we have available once you become a customer of Empower Network. And there's a handful of things that I'm actually going to encourage you guys to just take action and buy. And I've got a special encouragement for a handful of you on this webinar who really want to step up and who really want to make a decision to do something different. Obviously, all of you guys are going to get in and buy the blog platform. You don't really need a lot of selling. It's $25, right? Get in, buy it, and start using it. And you'll see how much better it is than everything out there. It's cheaper, it's better, it's faster, it's more efficient. It's a $3 million piece of technology, and you get it for $25 a month. It is the cheapest and best at the same time that exists out there in specifically what we're doing. Just buy it. Just click the link and buy it. Obviously, you're going to do that. Now, in the live feed area, though, you've got some other links for other products that you can buy, other things that you can get educated on. And those things are important for who I'm about to describe here in a second. But I want to talk about one in particular, and then I want to talk about some things everybody here should make a decision on tonight, right, on really how far you want to take your education and how far you want to take your future. We're going to be doing a special series that's going to be a 4 weeks series, and I don't actually have the dates in front of me, but I believe it is on the page, where Dave Sharp and myself and a handful of leaders in Empower are going to spend 4 weeks walking you through how to create a fast result in a month in your business. When you buy that product, it's $297. It's going to be the first upsell if you're just buying now, but if you actually log in, it's called Blog Beast Academy. It's over on the left-hand side. We're going to show you how to use the blogging platform to get the results that you want in your business fast. I want to talk about this product and talk about why you should buy it here for a second, and why you should buy it now, because the price of that thing is going to go up here in a few days. Okay. Hold on a second, losing my voice. I talked about this a little bit last night, but let me talk about what I believe is the most important skill if you're going to do what we do. If you want to be somebody who builds a big following online, if you want to be somebody who builds a big following offline, really, a following is a following. And when you're building a business, right, you need to create a following. You need to learn how to get people to follow you. If you're on Twitter, right, what do? You get people to follow you, right? On Facebook, if you've got a fan page, people can like you and they can follow you. If you're in network marketing, what's your goal? Your goal is to build a following. Your goal is not just to build a list. Your goal is to get people around you who you have the ability to influence, who you have the ability to lead. Your goal is to build a following, right? You need to learn how to build a following. You need to learn how to influence people. It is the highest paid skill that exists in the world, because when you can surround yourself with people that are good, you can do anything. And when I say anything, there's no limitations to that, right? There isn't. If you want to build a following, right, there are certain specific skills to be able to do that that are valuable. And who am I to be able to teach those skills? Well, I'm one of a handful of people that together, in just in the last 2 years, have built the largest affiliate company of any kind that exists around our niche by like 5 or 10 times. More like 10 times, actually, is the next close second. It's actually more like closer to 20. Probably about how big they are now, because they've gone down. We'll be the second biggest one. We're like 20 times the size, and we're still growing real fast. A couple of ex-homeless guys, right? And how did we really do that? Well, we did that by learning how to get people to make decisions, to get people to stick with those decisions, and to get people to create internal changes that they need to create a bigger result in their life and their business. That's how we did it. There is a handful of skills that are really important to creating that we have mastered, right, on influence. And in addition to the 4 webinar series, you guys are going to be getting as a special offer that is not going to be there in a handful of months, 2 additional products called Storytelling Secrets and Hypnotic Language. And those 2 products by themselves, people had to pay over $5,000 just to get in the room to learn those skills. And every single one of them told us it was worth more than $10,000. It was the most valuable training they had ever been through. In fact, Mike Hobbs went there. He went there making, like, I believe he said, a little over $30,000 a month. And I just actually checked with him. I was on stage with him in Dallas, and now he's over. Last month he made over. I think he made $77,000. Is what he made last month, just a few months after the training. Those 2 products by themselves are worth thousands of dollars, and we're going to remove those things from that packages. You're assuming the prices going up. The webinars by themselves are worth more than $297, and we have video hosting built into that, so you can use all the media services and stuff that we have here at Power Network, right? However, the real valuable thing is we are going to take you by the hand, step by step, and walk with you towards your outcome, okay? And how to achieve that here, fast. We're going to do it with you over the next 4 weeks as soon as the launch ends, right? And I have one desire for you. My desire is that you live your dream now. My desire is that you step into a new and beautiful future. My desire is that you create something magical in your life and powerful. My desire is that you realize now that you can do anything and that you achieve the dream that is in your heart. My desire is to serve you and to help you walk into a new beautiful future. So I want you to buy that product now, right? And this is my real kind of call to action to you guys who are watching this. Is what? Got a little bit of a cough going the last day or two. here's what I really want to encourage. I want to encourage you to really be a student of influence, to be a student of marketing, to be a student of traffic generation, to be a student of surrounding yourself with amazing people. And in being a student, to be a student while you're taking action at the same time, right? While you're headed towards your goal, making course corrections along the way. And if you're really serious about your future here at Power Network, okay, and you really want to create a result quickly, I'm going to encourage you to make a decision and get all in by that we've got. We've got a little over, I think, $5,000 worth of stuff. And I'm encouraging you to do that now. Now, whether you're building here, whether you're building something else, it doesn't matter. You take the same things and apply them towards what you're building. There's just easier and faster ways, right? I'm going to encourage you, though, to buy all of them when you get in. And it's not just buy them. I'm going to encourage you to go through them and to take your education seriously, right? To take your education seriously, to take your profession that you've chosen to live by seriously. Look, just because I dress funky and I don't really look professional doesn't mean I'm not a master of my profession, right? Because my profession is influencing people in a different and a unique way, right? This is my profession. My profession is influence. It is inspiration. It is lifting people up. It is speaking life into people, right? And all these tools and these technology platforms, the blogging system, the ability to build viral networks, I talked about a lot of this stuff yesterday. All of this stuff is tools of creating following and influencing that following, right? Really, though, to really take your game to the next level, you need to be influential. And I look at it like this. I remember being in a hotel room with a guy back in 2003. This guy was making an amount of money that was completely unrelatable to me. Okay, some of you met somebody like that. Some of you are seeing me and it's unrelatable to you how much I make. Some of you wonder how much I make. You can guess. But I met this guy who was unrelatable amount of money. I mean, he had a private jet. He lived in a mansion. He had like tons of jet skis. All this stuff was paid for with cash. He'd actually flown to do this meeting. It was like an hour and a half, and he didn't even make that from the meeting. He wasn't selling anything. He was just there to teach, and then he flew home. The flight cost him like 10 grand or something like that, and he just spent it so he could go home that night and hang out with his wife. And I was in awe of how influential this guy was. I was in awe as I stood around and listened to him, right? And listened to how he communicated, listening to how he spoke, listening to how he spoke inspiration to people. I was fascinated by it, and I just could not take my time. I had to pay attention to this guy and just do whatever he said to do. And I remember I was a little discouraged, and I walked up to him late in the hotel room, and I started talking, and he immediately cut me off, said stop. And I was like, okay, do you really want to know what to do because you got to stop doing what you're doing? And I said, yeah. And this guy said something, and I'll never forget what he said. He said, I want you to do one thing and promise me that you're going to do this thing. And if you promise me you're going to do this thing, I promise you, you will not know how powerful, you cannot know how powerful you'll be 10 years from now. It may take 10 years. It says you can't know. I said, sure, shoot. I said, are you going to do it? Will you promise me to do it no matter what I tell you to do? Will you promise me to do it no matter what I tell you to do? My question for you tonight. Will you promise me to do it no matter what I tell you to do? Right? And I was a little nervous, but, you know, this guy had a private jet, and I at the time had a Ford Escort, so it was a good deal. And I said, sure. Right? He said, David, you need to listen to audios from people that make more money than you, from people that can do things you can't do. In your downtime, all the time, whenever you're driving, whenever you're working out, permanently. And you need to take your education seriously. I'm not talking about school. He says, I didn't go to school. He says, I'm talking about learning what people have to say who make more money than you make in the profession you choose to be in. And if this is it, then that's like me and some other people, he said. Right? And you need to surround yourself with education from people that are creating not what you think you want to do. You need to listen to people who are actually creating the result that you want to create in your life. And you need to do what they tell you to do, no matter what it is, as long as it's honest, as long as it's ethical, and as long as it upholds your values. You need to surround yourself with people who are better than you. And you need to do what they tell you to do. And I sat there and I said, so what's next? And he says, you better be playing audios on the way home. And if I ever see you again and you're not doing it, I won't ever talk to you. And I said, holy crap. Right? It was one of the reasons why, in my opinion, the most important education product we've got in Power Network is the Inner Circle. Because it's an audio education membership, right? Where you can, right on your smartphone, you've got a mobile app. You can listen to inspirational audios, have it played in your car, plug your phone into your car through Bluetooth or whatever, and you can constantly be injecting information into your mind from people who know what you want to know, are going where you want to go, are doing what you want to do, and key, are better at doing it than you are right now. Because by surrounding yourself with inspirational personalities all the time, you allow your mind to rewire unconsciously. That's a $100 a month product that we've got. If you guys aren't familiar with the Power Network, it's called the Inner Circle, right? I believe it's the most important education product we've got because it's ongoing and we add to it all the time. That's why it's our monthly membership product that we've got. That product has changed people's lives all around the world, right? And then we've got stuff that does other things here at Power Network to help you in different aspects and focused parts of your business, right? Let me give you an example. We have a product here called the Costa Rica Mastermind Intensive, and that product is what created our entire company, right? Because we actually recorded that video course before we launched the company, and that product, right, that you're going to see when you buy that product now is $500, right? It's like 2-3 years old or something like that. Well, no, whenever we started Power Network, but that is the information, the philosophies, and the skill sets that created a company that is doing right now close to $2 million a week in sales, start by 2 ex-homeless guys, right? That product is really, truthfully, how we did this, right? How we did this. And some of you have bought that and you haven't actually gone through it. And I've looked in you the eyes and I've told you in events to go through it. And some of you are in other businesses and you haven't gone through it yet. And that product created a team of 200,000 people in 2 years from a guy who doesn't get phone calls, right? Normally in a direct sales company, you've got a guy with 200,000 people in their team. Do you have any idea? Do you have any clue at all, like how many phone calls they get? Their phone rings from the time they wake up until the time they go to sleep at 4 in the morning, and then they wake up at 8 in the morning, and they take phone calls from 8 in the morning until 4 in the morning, 7 nights a week. That's what they normally do. That product, the Costa Rica Mastermind Intensive, is the background information on how Dave Sharp and I, 2 ex-homeless guys, got together with 30 people in a hotel room with a whiteboard that was like placed on a chair and drew out a plan and turned that group of 30 people into 200,000 people in 2 years. That product tells you how we did it before we actually did it is the background of that product. How much is that worth? That is worth a lot of money. If I'd had access to that information when I talked to that guy in that hotel room, it would not have taken me 10 years to succeed in my business the way that I've succeeded. I would have been able to do it in about 4 or 5, right, from the time that I saw that product. That's how valuable it is. It's a one-time payment of $500. You get access to it for permanent, right? It's like 20 hours of stuff. It's amazing, right? That's what that is, that $500 product. The $1,000 product we've got, funny background story on that, but that's one we're constantly actually adding to. That is the strategy product, you know. That is the piece on how to create an organization through leadership skills, through paid traffic, through a combination of upselling skills, through email follow-up. You know, just give you an example of one thing in that product that I just learned a ton from, right? Because I'm still studying and learning. Folks, I don't know everything, right? I'm sitting there on these webinars with Aaron Rashkin, and he opened up his email system and showed you what he does with his autoresponders. And it's something people pay $1,000 just to go hang out at his house and learn for 3 days. And he got on these webinars, not a recording. He got on live and walked through how he converts sales like a mofo, right? Automatically, without picking up the phone, all through email, using the same pages that everybody else who's an affiliate uses. And this is a guy who's been a 7-figure earner for a long time on the internet and just continues to succeed and continues to make money. Just that part of the series alone, which is like 2 or 3 webinars in the middle of like 25 or 30 or something, those alone to me were worth $5,000. That product's only $1,000. And if you're an affiliate and you sell one of them, you make $1,000, right? So the question is do you want to know what's in the product? Because if you know what's in it and are getting value from it, it's a lot easier to sell it. Because if somebody calls you and they have a question, one of your customers calls you and have a question, you have 2 choices if you do pick up phone calls, right? Because sometimes you're in the early phase of your business where you do that. If somebody calls you, well, what are your options? You could either try to explain it to them, which is going to take a long time and create problems for you. I'm going to tell you what those problems are in a second. Or you could say, I want you to log in now to Empowerment. I want you to click on the 15K formula and watch the webinars by Aaron Rashkin, where he explains how he has made millions of dollars by email, by being smart with the way he writes copy and being smart with the way he sets up his campaigns. A 7-figure earner opens up his email live in front of you, and you can learn that question there. Do you have the 15K formula? And if they say, no, I don't have the 15K formula, you can say, well, I want you to log in and tell me when you're there. And they say, okay. And you say, go ahead and click that button. It says the 15K formula. Fill out the order form. And go ahead and tell me when we've hit the submit button. And people will just literally do it on the spot. And I have been amazed at how much commissions people have thrown away by not telling their customers to go learn information from the products. They try to explain the answers to people. Well, here's what happens if you look at building your business. So we're talking about leadership skills tonight, and probably getting into more than I should on a webinar like this that's public. But I want to teach you guys some valuable things who are buying the products, right? Who are buying our system, who want to know, hey, what am I going to actually learn when I get back here and I get involved with this group of people, right? This is what people generally tend to do, is they've got a product that has the answers to the questions. Those of you who heard Empower anyways, right? And then somebody calls and they ask them a question, they email and ask them a question, and they go blah, 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 blah. And as they're doing this, if you can just imagine a commission meter, right? This being a lot of commissions and this being like nothing, they go blah, 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 blah. And they talk themselves out of thousands of dollars in commissions. It's like they're throwing commissions away. It's like they're taking $1,000 and just throwing it into the swimming pool and allowing it to like burn up by the force of the sun. Or it's like they're going to the bathroom and just taking rolls of $100 bills and wiping their butt with that rather than toilet paper, right? That's what they're doing, right? Because there's a better way. And there's several reasons why it's better. Number one, because if you realize that people will take the information more seriously if they pay, they'll actually do it if they pay, right? They'll actually do it if they pay, right? That means that you can actually help them more and earn a commission at the same time by selling it to them. And you got to know what's in it in order to do that if you're an affiliate. right? You can actually earn more money by selling it to them, okay, by getting out of the way, and it takes you way less time because now you've saved yourself an hour webinar with every single person you bring in. So somebody asks you how to do something, you just lead them to the video that shows them how to do that. All of a sudden, you don't have to spend any time on the phone. They get helped more, they take it more seriously, and rather than a free hour-long phone call, you made $1,000 in a 10-minute phone call. It is a completely superior way to train your customers and your affiliates, depending on what you guys are doing. Some of you are selling other products and services. Some of you are selling in Power Network, and whatever it is that you're selling, you can do this with whatever you're selling. It's a completely superior strategy that saves you time, it saves you energy, it saves you money by systematizing your training. So if somebody calls me up and they've got a funk in their mind, I do not work through the funk in their mind because I know hypnosis, and I am not here to be a therapist. That's not my goal, right? There are people who are therapists you can send people to. So if I'm going to help people with their mindset, well, how am I going to do that? Somebody's going to call me up there and say, Dave, I'm struggling with this mindset. And I say, stop. Can I tell you a story? And they say, yeah. Say a few years ago, 10, I was in a hotel room with a guy who had a private jet. And I was doing what you're doing right now. Really interesting that we were actually doing the same exact thing. I was sitting there, and I started blabbering about nothing. And he said, stop. Dave, are you willing to do whatever it takes? Yeah. If I tell you what to do, will you do it no matter what it is? I said, yeah. He says, I will never tell you anything that's not in the best interest of your business. And I will always tell you only things that I've done. Is that fair? I said, yeah. That's something I can listen to. I will always only tell you things that are in the best interest of your business. And I will always only teach things that I've personally done. And everything else I'll refer to other people's teaching for me. Because if I hadn't done it, I can teach it. It's just the way I am. I said, yeah, okay. He said, listen to audio every day in your downtime. And I started to do it. And funny enough, he said 10 years later I wouldn't know the person I'd be, but I started doing it then. I struggled a lot. And now I'm the leader of a team that brings in more than twice the people every day as his team brings in every day. Only the difference is he's been doing it for like 40 years. And Power Network is only 2 years old. So what he told me actually worked better for me than it did for him, right? So it worked, right? That's the way that I'm going to answer the question. I'm not going to sit there and teach somebody something that they can learn by product. Hold on, I got to plug my computer. It's running out of batteries here. Great way to end a webinar, by the way. When you run out of batteries, you just have to get everybody off, right? If somebody asks a question, they say, David, how do I build a high-level organization, build duplication systems, inspire people, lift them up, and to build it in a way where I don't get trapped in my business? Number one, I would say, do what I just told you to do, right? Because if you're getting 2 people a day, and then you're doing what I just told you to do, that's like 80% of why your income's not growing as fast as it is. Because if you are managing everyone and you're teaching everybody everything, number one, you don't have the energy or the time or the creativity free to go get more customers, which is really what's going to increase your income. But number two, you're not really upselling your customers because you have to be with everyone and you're doing it for free, right? And you don't have time to do this, guys. You just don't have time, right? You've got to learn to manage your energy and to do things that are going to make you money. So I'd say number one, do what I just told you to do. But here's what I really tell you. I say, are you really serious about that? And that's my question for you. Is, are you really serious about building a high-level organization? Are you really serious, no matter what you're in, taking your game to a new level? Are you really serious about learning how to cast a massive future out there in the world? Are you really serious about really learning to build a real leadership-based organization? Are you really serious, or are you just fooling around? Right? Or are you just fooling around? And if somebody's not serious, I ain't going to mess around with even telling them what to do. Why? Because they're not going to do it anyways. Right? But if they're serious, what I'm going to tell them is, you have the master's course? And if they say no, I'll say, well, log into the Power Network, tell me you're logged in. And they say, okay, I'm logged in. I'll say, you see the button that says Master's Course, activate now, the green button. You say, yeah. You say, go ahead and click that green button. Fill the form in, and place your order for the Master's Course now. Right? And right now. Why? Because that is the philosophy set, okay, that will allow you to create an organization that will load you in your own mind when you do it. Right? That's what allows you to lead people without being there all the time. That's what's going to allow you to build systems, not to do what the company wants, but to do what you want. That's the high-level skill, the high-level philosophies for somebody that really wants to be a leader. The question is, do you really want to be a leader? Right? Do you really want to be? Some people say they want to be, but there's a difference. It's like, do you really want to be a leader? Do you really want to be a leader? Right? Are you really willing to make a decision and really willing to create a future? If the answer is no, that's okay because you're valuable too. Just realize the answer is no, right? That you're here to go make a few thousand a month or go out there and create some level of result in your business. But again, if you're an affiliate with Power, the Master's Course generates a $3,000 commission, right? In the comp plan, and if you don't have it, you are not going to sell a lot. But there's a big difference, guys, and it's not because you can't sell it if you don't have it. You can. It's because you're not going to know what's in it. And how can you sell something when you don't really know why you want to buy it? Right? You need to buy the products that are going to that you're going to be offering in the marketplace. It's not because you're required to buy it. Look, when I got involved in my business on the internet, I learned this the hard way. I know in sales or in marketing, it is very important if you're an ethical person to personally use products you're selling, right? And the best people that have ever explained to me were the Amway guys. And not talking about the Amway Corporation, just to be clear for a legal disclaimer, this is just the organizations that you guys are part of. And they explained it like this. They explained it like, it's like if you're selling cars and you're on a lot and you own the car dealership and you own a Ford dealership. And I walk in the dealership and I say I want to buy a car. It says, well, what kind of car do you want? And you look at me in the eye and you say, I want the kind you got. But the owner of the Ford dealership is driving a Mercedes-Benz, right? Well, he's not using his own product. You know what I'm saying? He's not using his own product. And because he's not using his own product, his honest recommendation, it's not honest. He's not using his own product, right? And I heard that, and that just made tons of sense to me. Because I said, okay, if I'm going to recommend a vitamin to people, and I'm not even willing to take the vitamin myself, right? How can I ethically recommend that to people? I have people all the time who call up and ask for stuff for free in the Power Network if they can somehow find a way to get a hold of me, which is actually pretty rare. Or they call the company, they say, I'm a big deal, I want free stuff. And we tell them, no, we don't give free stuff. We don't give special placements to leaders to anything. I said, because if you, the leader, the person who has access to resources, who doesn't even need to stretch, aren't willing to pull your credit card out now and decide to buy, what about a person in your organization who really has to stretch? How can you look them in the eye? I'll tell you how I do it. Because whatever I tell people to invest in their business, I invest in that. Whatever time I tell people to put in their business, I invest in that. Whatever effort I tell people to put into their business, I put in more effort. Whatever heart I tell people to put in their business, I put in more heart. Whatever I tell people to do, I personally do that or more. And I will not violate that. I will stick with telling people to do what I do. Because I'm going to lead by example, right? That's just who I am. So for me, you better believe, I will not tell anyone to buy something that I am not willing to buy and that I haven't used personally. And it doesn't matter if it's soap, vitamins, it doesn't matter if it's in that niche or another niche, it doesn't matter if it's in Power Network or if it's selling cars or whatever it is. I will not personally, on my own values, recommend a product for somebody to buy that I am not willing to buy myself because it's against my internal ethical clock to do that. I have to be honest with people, right? So for me, that's important. And that's from a sales perspective. But from a value perspective, this is what, I look at it as, we are the enemy of everyone in direct sales. And it's not because we're better. It's because the way we build a business is superior, right? Rather than doing a hotel meeting, we hop on a live stream, and we've got 10,000 people on here. I actually don't even know how many comments there are on this thing, right? We just have people just get on and just make decisions and buy stuff. I have recruited more people into direct sales than anybody that I know, than anyone, right? And I do it getting no phone calls, as I demonstrated earlier today. None, right? And everyone I know with large organizations and network marketing who is not a part of my team or learn from me, all of them are slammed to death from the time they wake up to the time they go to sleep. With less big teams. They do that when they have 3,000 people in their team. Well, the problem is there's a limit to your ability to pick up the phone. Therefore, it's not a good part of the system to make a system reliant on you picking up the phone for everyone that joins your team. You can do it with the people that personally sponsor, whatever, right? But it's not a scalable strategy, right? We teach you that in the master's course. How many network marketers could that be sold to? How many direct sales professionals could that be sold to? Oh, everyone, right? That's worth, to me, that would have saved me 10 years. Because the second I learned to tap into my skill set and to do it in a way that's congruent with who I am, it's like my income shot up like this, right? And that's one of the reasons you should buy now, right? Now, the thing is that I want you to do, though, is whatever it is that you want to do in your business, I want you to make a commitment to your outcome, which is your future. Okay? It doesn't matter which products you buy, it doesn't matter whether you're an affiliate or not. It only matters if that's congruent to where you're going. So my question is what do you want? What do you want?
So I hope that's been helpful. I hope that cleared up the value of our products. As you can see, David is super passionate, and I can tell you personally that owning each of these products has made a significant difference in my life and my business. The Inner Circle audios have completely transformed my mindset and helped me to understand that making money is easy. By listening to these audios over and over again, I was able to go from believing that it had to be a struggle to make money, which was a subconscious belief that was stopping me in my life, to believing that making money is easy. Not to mention, when you listen to these audios on a daily basis, which is what is recommended, just like David Wood talked about, you reprogram your mind to, it helps your copywriting, it helps the way you speak, because you're listening to people that are extremely successful over and over again, and you eventually start to talk like them, you start to behave like them. So it's helpful in a lot of different ways. And then each of the other products, like he described, the 15K formula is our strategy product, and then the Costa Rica Mastermind Intensive and the Master's Course, which was also shot in Costa Rica, are really great leadership products, specifically the Master's Course. And anyway, he goes into detail about all that. I don't need to go into that again, but hopefully now you have a better understanding about why it's important to own each of these products. So I hope that's been helpful, and make sure you go ahead and get each of those products for yourself, because they will help you make money on the internet, whether you're marketing in Power Network or anything else at all, any kind of business, any kind of coaching service, anything. Those products will teach you exactly how to do that and help you with your mindset as well. So go ahead and log in and get those products for yourself and enjoy them, go through them. Don't just buy them, but go through them. And I look forward to hearing how things change for you. So have an awesome day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.